All right, I'm gonna send this video over in two parts, just because I get long-winded. The first thing I want you to do is we're gonna open up our hips. And we're gonna do that by opening up from our knees all the way up inside that hip joint. So what this is gonna do, it's gonna take a lot of that pressure off of what's tight through here and squeezing all that in and creating a little bit of a pelvic turn. So by being too tight through here, it now takes this and draws it too far under at times. So what I'm gonna have you do is both of these things, both these videos, I want you to do them days that you do not plan to squat. So a couple times a week, let's try this. I don't want to do these on days that we're gonna exercise. Reason being is I don't want to loosen up too much. The last thing you want to do when you're getting ready to go into a squat or a deadlift or anything is to be too loose. All the mechanics out the side. But what I'm going to have you do is you're going to get down on your knees. You're going to go out for now as far apart as you can on your knees. If it's wider than shoulder width, great, that's better. But you're going to be on your knees, sit upright. Now I want you to think about taking your heels back here and try to drive the side of the heel into the floor. It's going to be hard to do until you get that flexibility going, but eventually you'll start to be able to drive those heels into the floor off the side. What that does is it now puts tension in our glutes and our hamstring. So I'm already tight right here. I know this. I squatted yesterday. So now I'm going to get down on my hands and I'm just going to gently sit back into that position. So I want you to think about drawing your butt back and trying to draw your butt to your heels while you're keeping those heels planted to the floor. And if you're not quite understanding what I'm saying, I'll show you from the side. Heels up, now down to the side. We're going to drive them into the floor. And you're just going to sit back into that position. So from there, you're going to feel it start to pull deep inside those hip sockets. So this is opening up those hips. We call this a dynamic frog stretch. The reason we call it dynamic is that once we get into it, we get down into that position and you want to work those hips a little bit to get that joint loosened up, to get that joint lubricated. And we're not going to hold it. We're just going to get down in there, back up, down in it, back up. Then I'm going to have you bring it up on your knees into a higher position, together knees. And I'm just going to have you shoot the leg to the side. So just take your knee and think about just taking your knee and shooting it towards the ceiling. Boom, up. As you're doing that, think about squeezing those glutes. Those glutes need to fire. You're going to do that on both sides. It doesn't take long. 3 minutes at the most. You should be able to get through that dynamic frog stretch with the fire hydrants. It's a simple movement. But what that's going to do, it's going to now allow that groin muscle up inside there to kind of relax, allow that inside of that hip to open up a little bit. So when you start to get down in that squat and you drive those knees out as you're squatting, it now feels a lot more natural. So try that, let me know how it works.